Welcome to Tech Talk Central, and welcome to this week's deep dive. Today, we're putting two really big names in budget 3D printing head-to-head. I'm Sarah.
Hey, I'm Nathan.
And today, we are unpacking the specs for the FLASHFORGE Adventurer 5M and the ELEGOO Neptune 4 Pro. Our goal here is really to help you figure out which of these, well, speed demons offers the best bang for your buck, whether you're just starting out or you're already pretty experienced.
Exactly. We've got the spec sheets right here, and honestly, the first thing that jumps out is just how much high-end tech has trickled down into this, quote, budget category. It's kind of amazing. We're talking genuine high-speed performance here, stuff that was, way out of reach price-wise just a couple of years back.
Okay, let's get right into it then, starting with speed. Raw speed and the core mechanics behind it. So the Adventurer 5M, they're advertising a pretty wild max 600 millimeters per second printing speed. And paired with, 20,000 millimeters per second squared acceleration? That just sounds intense.
Oh, it is. And the way FlashForge gets there is interesting. They're using a Core XY all-metal motion structure. Now, for anyone listening, Core XY basically means that the motors stay put on the frame. This makes the moving part, the gantry, super light and stable. That stability is really the key to hitting those high speeds and accelerations smoothly and still getting, decent print quality.
Okay, Core XY for stability and raw speed potential. So how does the ELEGOO Neptune 4 Pro stack up? Its maximum speed is listed a bit lower, 500 millimeters per second.
Right, slightly lower on the top-end speed number. But the Neptune 4 Pro is taking maybe a slightly different approach, focusing heavily on the control side of things. It comes equipped with Clipper firmware right out of the box. Now, Clipper, basically it offloads the complex processing to a faster chip, in this case, a 64-bit, 1.5 gigahertz CPU.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it can do much more sophisticated calculations for movement, which means more precision, especially at speed. Plus, they've upgraded the X and Y axes. They're using these robust all-metal guide rails with U-shaped steel wheels. That cuts down on drag.
So it sounds like one is leaning on the pure mechanical design, the Core XY, for raw speed.
That's the Adventurer 5M, yeah.
And the other, the Neptune 4 Pro, is leveraging advanced software, Clipper, for really precise control, even if the absolute top speed number is a bit lower.
That's a great way to put it. It kind of raises that classic question, doesn't it? How much of that theoretical max speed is actually usable?
Exactly. Like 600 sounds amazing, but if your prints look terrible at that speed because the machine can't quite handle the vibrations or inertia,
Then it's just a number on a spec sheet, right?
yeah.
The Neptune 4 Pro with Clipper might deliver better quality prints at its slightly lower top speed because the control is just tighter. It's definitely something you need to weigh up. Stability versus control.
Okay, speed is flashy, but let's be real. Nothing kills enthusiasm faster than failing prints, especially that crucial first layer. So let's talk setup, specifically leveling. I still have nightmares about paper and feeler gauges from my first printer. How easy are these two for someone who's never touched a 3D printer before?
Thankfully, we're way past the paper gauge era for machines like this. Both offer auto leveling, which is honestly essential now. The Adventurer 5M, it both what they call a fully automatic one-click leveling system. It probes the bed, measures the nozzle distance, and here's the key part. No manual Z-axis calibration needed. It just figures it out. For a beginner, that's huge. It removes, the number one source of early frustration.
Oh, completely hands-off on the 5M. That sounds incredibly simple. How does the Neptune 4 Pro handle it? Is it more complex or maybe just more thorough?
I'd say more thorough, definitely. The Neptune 4 Pro uses this newly designed 121-point system. Think of it like an 11 by 11 grid across the build plate. So it takes a lot of measurements. It's incredibly precise, mapping out every tiny variation on the bed surface. It ensures quick, but also super accurate leveling. Less about absolute simplicity, maybe, and more about getting that comprehensive data for a perfect first layer every single time.
Right, different philosophies again. One-click ease versus brute force precision mapping. Okay, moving on from setup to maintenance. This is often where the long-term ownership experience really shows. I saw something really eye-catching about the Adventurer 5M's nozzle. A 3-second toolless swap. Seriously.
Yeah, it sounds almost too good to be true, but that's what they claim, their patent quick detachable nozzle system. If it works as advertised, that's a massive draw. Think about swapping nozzle sizes for different jobs, or just replacing a clogged nozzle. Doing it in seconds without digging for tools. That's a big quality of life improvement.
Absolutely. Especially since they offer different diameters too, right? Like 0.25 up to 0.8 millimeters.
Exactly. So lots of versatility there paired with that super easy maintenance. Now, the Neptune 4 Pro, on the other hand, Seems to focus less on the quick swap aspect and
Yep.
more on, well, robust extrusion power and temperature. It features a self-developed dual-gear direct drive extruder. And the key spec here is a 5.2 to 1 reduction ratio. That high ratio basically means it has a ton of torque for pushing filament through. It makes it much less likely to jam or clog, especially with tougher filaments.
Okay. So less chance of needing to swap the nozzle in the first place because it's less likely to clog.
That seems to be the idea. Plus, it has a higher temperature capability. We're talking a 300 degrees Celsius high temp nozzle, and it's got an extended hot end design.
And that difference, the 300 degrees C, directly impacts what materials you can print with.
Precisely. That 300 degrees C lets the Neptune 4 Pro handle not just the standard stuff like PLA, PTG, ABS, and TPU,
Yeah.
but also critically, nylon, engineering-grade materials.
Whereas the Adventurer 5M, I think it tops out around 280 degrees C, and the specs explicitly mention needing an enclosure for ABS or ASA.
Correct. So the Neptune 4 Pro's higher temp capacity is a clear advantage if you plan on working with those more advanced high-temperature materials like nylon straight out of the box. The Adventure 5M is perfectly fine for PLA, PDG, TPU, and the most common stuff. But if nylon or frequent abscissa printing is your goal, the Neptune 4 Pro seems better equipped for that without modifications. It really forces you, the user, to think, what materials am I actually going to print most often?
Good point. Okay, materials capability is one thing, but what about the size of the things we can make? Are we limited with these budget machines?
Well, the build volumes are actually pretty similar, but there is a noticeable difference, mainly in height. The Adventure 5M gives you 220 by 220 by 220 millimeters, a nice cube. The Neptune 4 Pro is slightly larger on the base, 225 by 225, but significantly taller at 265 millimeters.
So that extra 45 millimeters on the Z-axis, that's almost 2 inches. That could actually make a difference.
It really could. It might mean the difference between printing, say, a taller vase or a cosplay helmet part in one piece, versus having to split the model, print 2 halves, and then glue them together later. That extra height adds flexibility.
Definitely. Now, while we're talking at the build plate, I spotted a really interesting feature on the ELEGOO, something about segmented heating.
Yes. This is quite clever, actually. The Neptune 4 Pro's heated bed is divided into 2 independent heating zones, a central smaller zone and the outer area. And the flicing software is smart enough to look at the size of your model on the build plate. And it only activates the zone, or zones that are actually needed. So if you're printing something small right in the middle, it only heats up that central part.
Wow, okay, so that saves power, obviously.
Big time. And it also means the bed heats up faster because you're not wasting energy heating the whole thing unnecessarily. It's a neat efficiency feature that adds up over time.
That is clever. The Adventurer 5M has a nice touch too, though, with its build plate, right? The double-sided PEI.
Yeah, it has a flexible PEI-coated steel plate, which is pretty standard now and works great for adhesion and removal. But the flip side is specifically textured or treated, they say, for printing PTG. So if you switch between PLA and PTG a lot, maybe you slip the plate over instead of needing glue stick or hairspray for the PTG. It's a nice convenience feature.
Gotcha. And of course, both machines include print resume after power outage, which feels like table stakes these days, thankfully.
Absolutely. Nobody wants a 10-hour print ruined by a power flicker.
Okay, let's shift to control and connectivity.
Yeah.
How do you actually manage these printers, especially if you're thinking about running more than one or just want to check prints remotely?
This seems to be a real focus area for the Adventurer 5M, especially if you're considering like a small print farm setup. They really emphasize remote management through their FlashMaker app. Lets you manage devices, monitor prints with a camera if you add one, check status, all remotely. And their slicer software, Orca FlashForge, apparently supports sending files to multiple printers at once and has network monitoring built in.
That sounds quite integrated, like a whole ecosystem for managing potentially multiple printers easily. And the connectivity options reflect that. Wi-Fi, Ethernet, USB, cloud. Pretty comprehensive.
Very comprehensive, yeah. The Neptune 4 Pro also has good connectivity, USB stick support, which is standard, but also LAN connectivity for network printing. One other spec worth mentioning, maybe more for practicality, is the weight difference.
Oh.
Yeah, the Neptune 4 Pro is noticeably lighter. It comes in around 19.6 pounds or just under 9 kilograms. The Adventurer 5M is quite a bit heavier, about 29 pounds or over 13 kilos.
Huh. Why the difference? Does that heavier weight mean anything for performance?
It likely relates back to that core XY structure on the Adventure 5M. Those all-metal frame components probably add up. More weight can sometimes mean more stability and less vibration. But the lighter Neptune 4 Pro might be easier to unbox, set up, move around if you need to, maybe even a bit quieter if there's less mass vibrating. Just a practical consideration.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, it sounds like for someone trying to choose between these two, it really boils down to prioritizing specific features. They both seem like incredible value, but with slightly different strengths.
Exactly. It's a fantastic problem to have, right? Two excellent choices at this budget level. If you know you want to print high-temperature materials like nylon, or if that extra Z height is important for the kinds of things you want to make, and if you like the idea of Clipper's advanced control and maybe that energy-saving segmented bed, then the Neptune 4 Pro looks like a really powerful contender.
Right. But if your priority is maybe the absolute fastest potential speed and acceleration combined with that super easy toolless nozzle maintenance, and especially if you envision running multiple printers and want that tightly integrated remote monitoring and farm management software, then the Adventure 5M with its Core XY build might be the better fit.
That sums it up perfectly. Ultimately, both of these machines are offering features and speeds that just a year or two ago you'd be paying way more for. Full auto leveling, high speeds, direct drive on the Neptune. It's impressive progress.
It really is. It kind of forces you to rethink what budget even means in 3D printing now.
Definitely.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive comparison of the FLASHFORGE Adventure 5M and the ELEGOO Neptune 4 Pro. Two really compelling options.
And it leaves you with a fascinating thought, doesn't it? When this level of speed and capability becomes so accessible, so affordable, what does that mean for personal manufacturing? Does every home workshop start to look a bit like a mini factory? It really lowers the barrier to creating complex physical objects.
That's a great point to ponder. Now, if you want to check out the latest prices or find deals on either of these printers, definitely look at the links we've put in the description below.
And hey, if you found this comparison useful, please hit that subscribe button for more Tech Talk Central deep dives. We really appreciate the support.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next one.